My name's K.Melody. I'm a writer, recording artist, and also the events executive for Point Blank Music School. This October for Black History Month, we've decided to sit down for a chat with some of the UK's most integral contributors to Black British music. My next guest is UKG legend Fonti, one-third of the infamous trio The Heartless crew. We sit down to talk about his journey. I hope you enjoy.
It's just man them from long time for the man them. I put my neck on the line, we don't shop work, neither Bobby, but everything's fine. Ankles G, me and the man them, we get M's all the time. When we go shopping by the latest design, that's mine. Heartless crew, we bought the whole shop.
Yes, people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on when you're watching this. My name is K.Melody. We're here at Point Blank Music School, Studio 1, and today I have another special guest with me. This gentleman beside me is UKG royalty, one-third of the legendary act, The Heartless crew. I'm sure you recognise who I'm sitting next to you right now. I'm speaking with Mr. DJ Fonti himself. How are you today, sir?
Yes, quite respect. I'm good.
Yeah?
Thank you, sir.
Good. Thank you very much for joining me, man. I really appreciate it. I mean, today we're here to have like a little chat. It's Black History Month, so we're going through kind of like some of the pioneers, I feel, of British black music, especially since I've been alive anyway, which in the grand scheme of things isn't that long, but I feel like it's been a while. But yeah, man, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, man, good.
Yeah?
Man. Yeah, man, life couldn't be better, man. That's
Yeah,
man.
good, because it's a weird time at the moment, so for you to have that kind of positive attitude being exuded, is that even a word?
Yeah.
To exude that positive attitude right now.
That's right.
It's fantastic.
That's the way, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's that's what you call unconditional happiness, innit? We don't necessarily need things to be perfect to be happy. Otherwise, we're never going to be happy.
For sure, for sure.
Enough people, well, the famous saying, "Dopping not all for frightened."
Okay, break that down for me.
That basically saying that ghosts know who to scare. You know
ghosts
what I mean?
know who to scare.
Yeah, so if you ain't scared of ghosts, and ghosts could be in a room that don't bother me. You understand?
Yeah.
So it could be pandemic little more. That don't bother me. I ain't scared them things.
Okay. All right then. Love that. So that sounds like you're a man of West Indian heritage, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's right.
So talk to me about your background. Where you from?
Well, my mum's side's from Jamaica, my dad's side from St. Lucia.
Okay.
So I've got the nice combination of the Yardie and the Small Island, as they call it, but it's the Vibes Island.
Yeah. I respect it. My mix is half Jamaican, half Trinidadian.
Okay. Yeah.
So
that's
yeah,
it. So you got
mine is like the main reggae island and then the main party island.
Yeah.
And then I reckon that's why I am the way I am.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean?
I believe it's the best combination, you know what I mean?
Come on. But yeah, man, I mean, it's so weird. We were saying kind of off camera, like I've known you for years, but this is the first time we're sitting down and actually having a conversation like two individuals. It's mad how that comes about. But
it's time, innit?
How did you get your start? Like, who were you before you became DJ Fonti in it? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, let's see. Well, I mean, I still feel like I'm the same person. Like, I don't feel DJ Fonti changed anybody. Like, before I actually coined the name DJ Fonti, which is short for my surname, Fontenelle. I've always been into music. I've always enjoyed life, you know. And from an early age, when from about 12, 13 years old, I remember thinking to myself that everyone's studying what you're gonna do when you're older, and stuff like that. And most of the time you just gravitate to whatever the teachers say you're good at, you know what I mean?
Right,
I was good at maths, so I had to think, I'm gonna be a maths teacher. I was also good at music, so I was thinking, I might be a music teacher, you know what I mean? Basically, just going off of the guidance that they was giving us. But when it actually really come down to it, I realized that some of the most entrepreneurs in this world, they don't necessarily set out in one path they want to do. They just feel where they want to go and allow it to come to them. So that's basically what happened. I met Bushkin in school.
Yeah, because I wanted to. I'm so glad you segued me there because I really wanted to find out Mighty Mo Bushkin. How did you meet?
Yeah. So I met Bushkin in school. Like I said, I was into the music. So I played the guitar, I played the keyboard, I played the drums. You know, and Bushkin was like the rude boy them time there.
Okay.
Nah. I wouldn't say he was as musical. His brother had the sound system and equipment and stuff like that. But
Right.
it was Bush's idea that he came to me one day and he said, "Yo, do you want to start a sound?" So I believe he was about 12 or 13 these times there, and I must have had probably about maybe 2 or 3 records. You know,
Right.
pump up the jam.
Let me pause you there real quick. For
Yeah.
those who don't know, what is a sound?
A sound is a collective of people that play music, yeah?
Right.
And so nowadays you just have like a DJ, and he'll do like everything. But back in those days, you had the selector, and that is the person who is selecting the music, yeah? You had the MC, that will be obviously, as we know, the master of ceremony, but he will be in the sound, you know what I mean? So it will be under the sound name. You wouldn't just be hearing his name called so much by itself. It's more bigging up the sound. You also have the actual DJ, different from the selector, who will be playing the tunes. So there might be a next man selecting. Yeah, he's the one that knows what is what, but he might not be the best technically at mixing. You know what I'm saying? So you've got the other man, he's technically mixing. He just takes that record, puts it on, takes it off, give it back to the selector, and it's rolling like that. And then you've got a whole heap of other people as well that really make the sound work, like the entourage, people that help with the stringing up of the system, like the engineer side of it. And you've also got the big money man who usually owns the sound system, who's paying for it all, who's usually in the background and stuff like that. So basically, yeah, it's a group of people that put together that musical journey for you, you know, and it's tight. It's like a family. So back in the days, that's well, it come from Jamaica, really and truly. That's where sound system come from, you know what I mean? So we modelled our DJ career off of sounds like Stone Love with Rory and Metro Media with the headman Big Betty Sky Juice, and watching all those other kind of sound systems, how they play in dance, how they start from this genre and go to that genre, go to this genre, but then end up with a hardcore dancehall. We were the same. We just went through the different genres, and we ended up with the garage when it started to get hype, you know?
Exactly. I do know. It's funny because it's like I said, growing up with Jamaican heritage as well,
Yeah.
the idea of sound system culture has been in my family. Like, it's very much in my knowledge as part of who I am.
Yeah.
But it's funny, the names you listed, like when you think about those names with regards to sound system culture,
Yeah.
it's legacy. And the model you followed ended up providing you with the exact same thing.
Exactly.
So I feel like that's real cool. So getting back to it, I know I took you off track.
Yeah.
You met up with Bushkin now. Where does Mighty Mo come into play?
Mighty Mo, we met up with Mighty Mo through a mutual friend. So there ended up being 3 of us in the initial stages of Heartless crew. It was Bushkin. He wasn't in my class basically, but he was in the same year. But somebody in his class called David Ogwan.
Okay.
Yeah? He was like more like the brains, man. You get basically like very, very intelligent, very articulate. Yeah. And his name was Sookman.
Sookman.
Yeah, Sookman, because it's really dark as well, yeah. So, that was the Heartless crew for the beginning stages, just us 3. And also there's 2 other MCs as well called MC Rudy and MC Major.
Okay.
Yeah? And because at the time there, in fact, I used to MC first and then started to DJ. Bushkin, those times there was just a DJ.
Really?
Yeah, Bushkin was the bashment DJ, ragga DJ.
That is madness.
Yeah. Ogwan Sookman, he
Yeah.
was like the R&B hip hop DJ.
Okay.
Yeah. So Ogwan, as you could tell by the surname, had African heritage, and his parents wasn't so on for you being in the sound system at 13, 14 years old.
Right.
I want you to go Oxford and Cambridge, and this don't seem like the way for you. So before long, it seemed like he was being drawn away, and it was Ogwan during the first year of college that brought in Mighty Mo
Right.
as a hip hop DJ.
Right. So all 3 of you can actually spin tunes.
Yeah, of course, man.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's funny, like I'm originally an MC and Bushkin's originally a DJ, but now the whole roles have turned.
Yeah.
It's just vibes, you know?
That's so cool, man, because until having this conversation, I would have never known that. Do you know what I mean? Because I grew up listening to your music passively.
Yeah.
When I say that, I mean I've got an older brother who was more of So how kind of grime and drill is the sound now?
Yeah.
When he was growing up, the sound was very much jungle into garage, UKG, you know? So it was like You Guys, Pay As You Go, you know, like all of those flavors or whatever, Twice As Nice, Iron Apple compilations.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean? I'm getting the hand-me-downs. So I'm learning all of this stuff passively. And it's like, essentially, that was my introduction to, also honourable shout out to Mr. Lyndon David Hall as well. You know,
they're vocalists.
These are the names that I was growing up with, and not realising that it was nurturing me as part of my culture subconsciously. So that makes me want to ask, like, what is British black music to you?
You see, to me, music is just a vibration. As we like to say, our vibes. Yeah. So what I think music is a connection of everything. You know? So if you want to say British black music, I mean, that still incorporates for me Jamaican music, American music. You know, it's funny because nowadays, as I've got older, I don't really label things so much, because I realised to myself that you take away from it when you label it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because it never started in Britain. Yeah, and in fact, it doesn't make a difference where it started. The fact is, everybody is connected. You know what I mean? So the vibe might have come through this British black person, but that vibe that's coming through doesn't have any ownership because we're all connected. You know what I mean? So in answer to your question, I would probably say the vibe that we was on right now, we was getting the influence from, we just come off of the back of all like the Tupac and all the Biggies and all that kind of things there, yeah? Them man are still going on with their stuff over there. Like I said, that man was also influenced by like Stone Love, Metro Media, Kilimanjaro, Bass Adesi and all those kind of sounds over there. And then in the UK at the time, you've got man like MC Creed, Dreadlock man, doing some robot voice and madding at the place, you know what I mean? Basically. So all we done basically is take a little bit from the Jamaican heritage, thank you. You know what I'm saying? We take a little bit of the vibes and the kind of bravado that man's like Tupac and Biggie would have been coming with. And we watched people like MC Creed and see to ourselves, okay, because we would never have got into this garage two-step music, you know what I mean, basically. You know, it didn't have that grit like what R&B and Bashment had, you know what I mean? But with people like MC Creed on it, all of a sudden I had to look twice and be like, hold on a minute.
Wait a minute.
This is a vibe.
This
is a vibes.
So ultimately, maybe to you, if I had to kind of summarize it, British black music is the culmination of all of the cultures and aspects of those cultures musically in kind of like one big Dutch pot, and you just stirred it around, and then that's it. That's where we are.
But that's what music is in general. Anyway. Because if you go to some of those original connoisseurs in Jamaica and you ask them about their inspiration, they're gonna fling it back to some different places. You'd be like, rah, you might be inspired by them. So that's why I realized myself that it's all connected, you know. We don't necessarily need to have the label in order to enjoy it.
I hear that. I hear that. I respect it so highly. It makes me kind of go to another place with regards to my next question. When speaking about us doing this series and stuff, like just in conversation, we were speaking about the fact that with regards to British electronic music, it never seems synonymous with black music. And I wanted to know, like, why is that? When you think of electronic music, the first thing, maybe culturally because of the way I grew up, one of the first things I'm going to think of is garage. But I feel like often you think of maybe like EDM and house and stuff like that. But garage was inevitably inspired by some of those things. So I was wondering, like, why do you feel that like those two things aren't immediately married?
What you mean black music and like
and just the genre of electronic music?
Do you want electronic? I mean, if you just go back down to the vibes again, if you're a musician, you've got a certain kind of vibe and those kind of things there, So if I just explain it from my point of view, I mean, I don't fully agree because I believe that digital thing is connected all around anyway. Anyone can use it, but I just think that if you've naturally got a vibe, you might be less inclined to go to the digital side.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you can play them drums, you can do them vibes, you can do all those kind of things. So when reggae and all that kind of started off, it was the natural vibe that made that go, you know what I mean, basically. Whereas house music, it wasn't necessarily a man playing the drum like that and everybody playing as a band, you know what I mean? It was when things got into electrical side of things. Actually, to be honest with you, if I ever really take it back, it is all connected. Because if you look at Motown, for instance, yeah, that's like the beginning of like house music.
Okay.
Yeah? If you listen to some of the classic Earth, Wind and Fire and some of like the Four Tops and some of their tunes, you'll see that tempo was in there from morning, yeah? So that was like from the 50s, 60s, 70s, yeah? That tempo was in there. All what happened is that when things got digital in the 80s, you now don't need a whole band to do it now, basically. You can now do with a computer, put that kick drum in, put this in, put that in, basically. So the people who wasn't so, I look at it as musically trained, was able to now come in from this technical side of vibes and do it. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's necessarily a black or white thing. I would just say the black people are too busy enjoying themselves. So, you know what I mean? What I usually see happens is that man will set the blueprint and the next man will remix it.
Okay.
You understand? So basically, garage house and all that kind of things, it's just a remix of some other
Essentially,
things.
it's almost like it loops back to your point earlier. Like it's, you almost lose something once you put a name on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you put it in a box and you
Exactly.
give it that genre or identity,
Yeah.
it loses like an element of itself, perhaps.
Of course. It's because it's all connected. You know
For
what I mean?
sure.
And sometimes we make these stereotypes and we say these kind of things, and I think that it sometimes causes separation because it makes it feel like this is over here and this is over here. You know, like even just the term black music. Now, if a music is made by a black person, doesn't necessarily mean it's black music. It's good. It's music. Yeah, that come from now. Black people got vibes. So it's easy for the music to flow through the black people. But it can also flow through any other nationality. Doesn't make a difference, you know? So that's why I don't really look at things now as black music. I could say that was music made by a black man. That's
Right.
how I look at it now, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Different term.
It's funny because this is my second one of these interviews, and that seems to be an ongoing sentiment.
Yeah.
An ongoing sentiment. The music, we, like kind of earlier, like what we were just saying, like by us putting labels on stuff,
Yeah.
it's divisive, it's dividing it by its nature, when really and truly it's for, the audio is for everybody. You got ears, you can hear it, it's for you, it's meant to resonate in here, regardless of here.
Yeah.
So that's real interesting.
It also feels like a control thing as well. Like people feel like they want to own thing. They want to say, okay, this is ours or this is our music. Yeah. But that's just the same as creating war. You get me, basically? Because if you're gonna say that's our music, like we did that, we created that. You know, it's almost like you're saying we, meaning me and everybody my color, but not anybody my color. But if you're really gonna say the words we, that means we created that. You know, through the evolution of time, basically, come through the vibes. Vibes don't know no color, so the we is the vibe that created that, and that doesn't have to be labeled into any sort of color or anything, regardless if it came through a black man, white man, Indian man, any kind of man. You know.
Sure. Vibe don't know no colour. I like
Exactly,
that.
yeah.
You're dropping the gems on me today, Fonti. I swear down.
Blessings, man.
Listen,
Blessings, fam.
all right. I need to make sure that we touch on the anthem. The anthem, bro. The absolute smash.
Boy.
And it's weird because when I was doing my research, I realised I don't even really need to do the research because I've lived the research. I've been in a dance. I'm 28. Yeah. When did that song come out?
That song come out. It come out officially, I think, in 2002.
Right.
I think come out officially.
So that's 18 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's been out on dubplate for probably 2000.
So that's 20 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm 28, which means that I've only been raving legally for about 10 years, yeah? Bro,
Right.
10 years ago,
Yeah.
in fact, maybe even more now,
Yeah.
as soon as you hear, it's a shot. It's getting wheeled up already. It's in, you guys managed to make a classic in the level, that sits in the space of like like Rewind, Artful Dodger.
Yeah.
More Fire Crew Oi is the one that I would most liken it to, because as soon as you hear
Yeah.
Oi,
Yeah,
like,
that's
you know what I mean?
right.
The crowd's gone mad.
Jumpy, skippy
Exactly.
beats and everything. Yeah.
So as soon as you hear, it's an absolute shutdown. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like, of course, the answer is gonna be no. But did you guys have any idea when you made it of the cultural impact and longevity that you had just recorded and created?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. And I think if we was going into it thinking of it like that, then it wouldn't be nothing like what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it would have had too much conditions on it in order for it to be a vibe. But I find that when you don't put any conditions on anything, that's when a vibe can really flow through. You know? So that tune, to be honest with you, that tune was a bit of a nightmare at the beginning, because the beat got made. Like from 2000.
Who made the beat?
I made the beat, yeah. But
Jeez.
it was off of Bushkin's. It was off of Bushkin's vibes, yeah.
Okay.
So Bushkin is not necessarily a piano man or even musically trained, yeah. But when we just got the studio set up in my house at the time there, yeah, Bushkin was just playing around on the keyboard, yeah, and he was just hitting all the black notes, yeah. So he was just going like from like D sharp, do do do, D sharp, do do do, D sharp, do do do.
Yeah.
And it was like he just had those three. There's only 3 bars. You get basically, and he just kept playing that. Yeah, he goes, "Oh, what's coming in? It's coming in this." Do 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 do. And we'll just stop there. But through our musical, I know that there needs to be one more bar in there, like before it can become a loop, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was just like, "No, man, it sounds good, it sounds good." So I was like, "All right, then, why don't you just put the first bar in there again? It's good, make it go back down to." And he was like, "Oh, okay." To him, he understands. So that was the basis of the tune, yeah. And then from then, I built the beat, and the whistle was like the last thing to go in, because I thought, yeah, this sounds hard, but it needs like a little something to, you know,
just float over the top.
To float over the top. And boy, that was it. Just playing around with the little modulator and little whistle sounds. All it just made on like the old school Proteus 2000, I think it was.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, that was like one of the sound modules back in the day, you know what I mean?
Right,
so if you probably look at it, like, I remember the sound was like New Age Ooze, I think, was doing the main do, and then there was a whistle sound doing the other part. So that was it. Just went on the top of it. That was it.
That is crazy. What kind of what doors would you say that opened for you?
Why? I would say, I mean, to be honest with you, it was a bit different to how things are now. Yeah, like now it's like if you don't have a tune, you're nobody. Yeah,
right.
But those times there, we was already shutting down the place.
Yeah.
Like
because you were a sound.
Yeah, we already sound. We already had dub plates.
Right.
Shutting down the, like, if we would have released some of our dub plates then, we would have been getting more sales than people releasing their tunes. Yeah. That's how bad it was. But we wasn't really looking at it like, oh yeah, we want to get bigger. We're just having fun. We're just having our vibes. You know what I mean? Literally, even when we got the record label to sign us up and stuff like that, we was like, we're good. You know what I mean? Like, they're coming into our office basically. We're having a talk with them, and they're putting the deals on the table. We're like, nah, that's all right. We're good. You get me? So it took about a good couple of years before we actually signed at the time to Warner Brothers. You know what I mean? And and it's one of the biggest deals at the time. So just come back onto the point. It was that Warner Brothers took me off, but yeah, come back onto the point. What was we saying again?
We were just talking about the inception of the record and how it actually came about physically, production-wise, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. So the actual record itself, we wasn't looking at it like it was something that's gonna blast or anything like that. We just thought to ourselves, we just gotta get tunes out there. You know what I mean? And we made that tune. We had it on vinyl. And we literally sold like about 3,000 copies of vinyl just out of the boot of our car. Just going around different record shops and them kind of things there, boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? So all of that was like not even catalogued, because when we got signed now, they didn't include those records that we sold by ourselves. You know what I mean? So it didn't chart the way it was supposed to chart.
Right.
Yeah. That tune should have been easily top 5. If not number 1. You know what I mean? Easily, because of what we was doing, not just the tune, but all the momentum of all the clubs that we were shutting down. That was just a cherry on top. Oh, sugar, and you got a tune as well, you know what I mean? Right.
Right.
But so it didn't actually give us to propel forward like what we probably would have thought it would have given, like, because it survived the longevity, but on paper it should have been a top 5, but I think it was literally like a top 20 in the end, basically, because they only include the sales after we got signed to the record label, after they released it again, whereas all the DJs and everybody has already got it, you know what I mean, basically. So even to make top 20 then was still good anyway.
Yeah.
But from the statistics point of view, looking at it doesn't look like it did anything good. But now from longevity, you can see now it was a big cock up by Warner Brothers at the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's all good, you live and you learn.
You saying stuff like that, it makes me want to ask, so you were obviously a part of a different generation of music business.
Yeah.
Compared to now, i.e. you were talking about selling records out the boot of your car, whereas now it's streaming and MP3s, etc.
Yeah.
How, when you saw that this was the shift that was happening, how did you say, okay, cool, this is what people are doing now, but this is how we're going to remain us and stay both relevant and true to who we are with what it is that we're doing? Basically in ensuring, or was that process of longevity insurance not really conscious? Was it just you guys just existing?
Yeah, again,
it's just that exact.
It wasn't even conscious, I'm telling you. To be honest with you, from the time we got sold to the record label, we got signed to the record label, for us, that was a time where I feel that things became the hardest.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a time where I feel that it was a good test for us, but I feel that that's a time where we kind of, I feel anyway, we as a team lost our direction, because that was a time when everybody, especially the people with the big money who put the big money on the table, they want to come in and have their influences. And obviously we're young as well, so we're looking at these people as well like, wow, yeah, you must really know what you're talking about. And they do to a certain extent. But if you're talking about vibes, then we don't need to talk about vibes, because that's something that comes from the inside.
Right.
Yeah. So after a while, I realized to myself, all this talking has ended up talking ourselves into a place where it's like, okay, this is where we're supposed to be, but it doesn't feel the same like what we like it to feel like, you know? So just cut a long story short, we just ended up just doing again what we loved. Yeah?
Right.
For a good piece of time, when we got signed to the record label, they actually told us they don't want us to play out every week anymore. Yeah, they want to kind of make it a bit, they want to make us exclusive. They don't want people to be able to see us, which was the complete opposite to what we're all about, because we're people's people, you know. Anyone know Heartless crew? We're not like one of those kind of artists where it's like, oh yeah, we turn up, do the gig and we're gone.
Right.
We're those people like with life and soul in the party. You'll see us dancing in there, having a whole heap of fun, picking up 2 gal on the stage and going on wicked, and off stage as well, still going on wicked. Like, that's what we're about. So when the record label asked us to do that, around that time, it was probably for about a good year or 2, we was not in the club scene anymore. Whereas the thing is, what kind of burned me the most is that obviously nobody really knows that the record label have said to you, don't play out and be doing all these gigs anymore.
Of course.
People just think that
you're going and
too
stush,
big,
maybe,
and now we don't really want to be about anymore. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
where they're thinking at the time when we're not going there, it's not like we're sitting at home. The record label's flying us to this place, flying us to America to work with this producer who had a hit years ago, and flying us to this person who had a hit these years ago. So we're working with all these kind of great people, but the vibe what we're about is not necessarily being matched by these people, and you know what I mean? And I found at the time there, what I learned is that just had to have belief and faith in myself, you know what I mean? Because what we don't realize is that sometimes somebody else might come in a room who's got like a platinum disc or something like that, and then you just start to doubt yourself by thinking, no, whatever he thinks is good is better than whatever I think is good. Yeah, I think it's just something natural that just happens, innit? We kind of learn it from school, innit? We learn that the teachers know it all and we don't know nothing, innit?
Right.
But now I've kind of grown to realize that vibes is in everybody, and vibes is not something you teach somebody.
Right.
Vibes is something you feel, you get me? So a baby will teach you vibes. You know what I mean? Basically the same like a grandfather can teach you vibes. You get me? Basically like, but they're not gonna teach you through their teaching, they're just gonna teach you by them being in the vibes themselves and you witnessing that vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Basically. So that's what I've come to learn after in the hard way. Yeah, so after a couple of years where we wasn't in the club scene and kind of people kind of thought, okay, these that are doing whatever they're doing, they're going to come back soon with a big album. That album never came.
Right.
It almost just felt like, let's just do our thing, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we just carried on.
Do you feel in some ways maybe the label didn't understand that they were signing, as opposed to signing an act, they were signing a sound system culture. They were signing a sound system that you guys were a product of. So by you playing out weekly, that wasn't a performance, which is how a label might view an act. So like, no, you need to go on tour. You need to have these scheduled. You guys were like, no, we need to touch the people weekly. In the rave, in the dance, and continue with what we're doing. And it's so funny that you say that, because like I said, I was doing research before I just closed my laptop, and I was like, no, I know how to sit down and talk to this guy. One of the videos I saw was like only from a couple of years ago, and it's just exactly that. It's a sound system performance. I forgot where you were. I don't even think it was in this country.
Maybe or something like
and
that.
the three of you you're on the decks just going mad, and Bushkin and Mo are just going equally as mad, and but you can see that these men could do this in their sleep. There are just chats for days.
That's right.
And I feel like, as much as I love where the UK music scene is at the moment, in particular with regards to UK hip hop, R&B, etc., grime drill, that element is missing, man. The element of turntables, mixer, microphone, go. For as long as you can.
And enjoy it, innit?
That's not there anymore, man.
That's right. I do believe that the label didn't really understand us, or didn't really understand even what we was about at the time, you know what I mean, basically. But that's all good, because we live and we learn, you know what I mean, basically. So we are definitely what I would say a unique act, in the fact of that most people, in order to be in a situation where we are, they would have to have released albums and had albums from back in the day. If you actually look at our resume, you'd actually see, apart from the Chris Biscuit mix album, you won't see any album from the Heartless crew. Yet on the street, our name is like a heartbeat, you know what I mean? I remember Trevor Nelson saying, like, you guys are the only guys that I know who are underground and overground at the same time. Because and I took it as, because when most people are overground, they can't really be in the underground. How can you find time to be there? And most people in the underground don't really have the mindset to be in the overground. But I remember him saying that, and I took that as a nice compliment.
Oh, for sure. I mean? Coming from Big Trev, Uncle Trev.
Exactly, of course.
Listen.
And I think that's because he see us go from Mission FM to Freak FM to One Extra when it first started, to like Rinse FM, to all these different other stations, currently still now on BBC One Extra.
It's crazy, man. It's
you know
crazy.
What I mean? So it just literally goes to show, and I think like what he was trying to say is that most people, I don't know if they do this on purpose or whether it's kind of enforced on them, but most people conform. They feel they have to conform. They feel like whatever got you there, that's it now you got to conform. Whereas what I've realized is now that's what messes up most of these artists. That's why you see most artists, they're great, and then when they get signed, they're not that necessarily that great anymore, because they're now being told in a kind of way, well, that worked good for you before, so try this, and that worked good for that person, so try this, rather than go in yourself now. Come on, and you find the artists that do this, go in themselves and be themselves, regardless of how extreme it is, they're the ones that are iconic.
They're not winning. They're not winning. That's such a sick sentiment to touch on, man. Before we get out of here, I want to just speak about this current period as well. Like, how are you guys managing to just stay doing what you're doing? And essentially, hopefully, this ends soon. But what's next for you in particular, as well as the crew? What's next?
Well, right now, I look at everything every day where it's like, there's lots of things you can focus on which will make you feel down. And there's lots of things you can focus on that make you feel good. Now, if you want to wait for all the things that make you feel down go before you start feeling good, you're going to be down for the whole of your life. So what I'm learning now basically is just to live and let live. And that means if you want to say this to me, and you want to say this and you want to say that, that's okay. That's no problem. You know what I mean?
That's your business.
That's good. What I choose to believe is down to me, and that's what I think it's all about nowadays in life. You know, you can just choose what you choose to believe, and one thing's gonna make you feel good, and one thing's gonna make you feel bad. But the funniest thing is, the way how this universe is so amazing, whatever you choose to believe is going to happen. That's how powerful we are. You know what I mean?
Manifestation.
Even if you actually really do believe you're sick, you're gonna make yourself sick. You know what I mean? If you were sick and you believe that you really are well, you'll heal yourself. You know what I mean? So right now, I look at what's going on, but I don't take in what's going on. I just look inside if I want to really know what's going on and choose to focus on what things make me feel good.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
I hear you.
That's all I can say. And like I said, live and let live, man. So people can say whatever they want to say. Like, you know, you got some vegan people basically, now that they're vegan, they want to start to put everybody else, you get me? Like, I'm not like that. I agree, it's good to be vegan basically, but also do what you want, man. That's what we're here for, you know what I mean? We're here to enjoy ourselves and
I hear you.
and be free, you know? So, yeah.
Cool, man. So I guess the way you approach the next step is just manifesting.
Yes.
Ooh, struggle to get that one out.
Yeah.
Manifesting.
Yeah.
And looking inward to kind of make sure that your next step is as firm as possible.
Yeah, that's right. The manifestation always comes from inside, you know what I mean? Basically, we start worrying about things, we're going to manifest something to match that worry, innit?
Love that. So, Fonti with the quotes today, man. No,
it's good, man. No, bless you, man. But like things are going good, man. Like I said, like it's been crazy because even though it has been, you know, crazy for some people, for us living in the same world, it's felt like a holiday.
Yeah, it's almost like a little break.
It's felt like a holiday. I mean, like we still do the BBC show now from our house. I've got all the equipment set up and stuff like that. Okay. So we record the parts, send them to Mo. He records his part. Send it to Bush. He records his part. Send it to our producer. They put it all together. It's like bloody magic.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So we've still been doing our radio show throughout the whole time. They actually extended our show to 4 hours because a lot of people couldn't actually do the same from home. So we had our show doubled.
Jeez.
And also as well, I've got into salsa. Yeah, that was something I got into.
Sorry?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Like I said, vibes is vibes, man. Anybody know Heartless crew, like, you will hear us play, like, from reggae, jungle, garage, R&B, soul, to even, like, some pop, some Kylie Minogue, some Nevada.
Kylie's got a couple bangers, mate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but you will hear them mixed up in our set.
In your set.
And because vibe is vibe, you know what I'm saying? Before certain man used to be like, raw man, how could them man be playing that? Now, years later, them man looking like, nah, you man are iconic. Because you realise vibes is vibes. And as soon as we start turning up our nose and start going like one vibe is better than another vibe just because you don't like it, that's when you start killing your own vibe. You know what I mean, basically. So my dad said to me one day, he goes, yo, son, you should try salsa, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, nah, dad, leave that. I know about no salsa. You know, I was being a bit ignorant. And he said to me, nah, but there's enough girls that day. And I said, yeah. All right then, dad, I'm going to come down one of these weeks, yeah?
That's hilarious,
listen, when I went down to salsa one week there, fam, I could not believe what I've seen in my eyes. I've been in clubs since I was like 12, yeah? 11, 12. I've been in clubs literally every week, yeah? For 3 decades, yeah? But when I got into this salsa class, which had a little club after, I see all these different black man, Rasta man, like India man, Chinese man, a whole heap of different people, all just dancing together. With the ladies, busting some moves, and everyone looked like a professional. I'm here like, rotting. You see like Dirty Dancing, it was like that. That's an ordinary day in the salsa world. Everyone that's going on wicked and
yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, these guys look like a professional. I have to learn this. I want to be able to dance like this with my girl on my wedding day. You know what I mean? So I can't wait till the wedding day to start this. Let me start this now, you know what I mean?
Right.
But as soon as I started it, like within like about 6 months to a year, people saying to me, oh, can you teach me? I'm like, I'm not a teacher, and I'm just doing it myself, innit, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all right, you could teach us. I got roped into teaching it was actually Bushkin's mum, in fact. Yeah, she put together a charity called P for P, Parents for Parents, for women who like over the age of 50, who still want to party, but you know, they don't want to be mixed into the cliche of all the young thing, they want something more. So she asked me to come and start teaching them some salsa, basically. That become a weekly thing. Teaching them for like, well, should I say, 12 years later, this is it today.
Yeah.
12 years later, I now teach salsa, dance salsa. Now I've just got a class that I teach at London Business School in Baker Street, yeah. And I also have our own class that we do in after things go back to normal in Tottenham Green, basically. So during this period, I've been doing the classes online now through Zoom. which has been quite good. You know what I mean?
We know all about classes online at Zoom.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a great vibe, man, because as you know, with the salsa, I just put my own DJ Chris Biscuit vibe in it. So when we're salsing to Afro beats, R&B, bashment, as well as the traditional salsa. And as like, it is a wicked vibe. And I just say for anybody out there who just wants to learn salsa, come and learn it. It is just something, it is second to sex. Yeah,
right.
And it's not even a fast. It's a close second. Yeah? It's a close second. Yeah,
yeah.
It's just that you can get those emotions out. You can get that connection with a girl without any of the sleaze or any of that business there. Ladies can allow themselves to look sexy without necessarily being provocative or over the top. You could dance with like your mum, your cousin, which is unseen of normally, but in the salsa thing, because it's all. It's a very respectable dance. You get me? It's not no smooching thing. It's just all, and it looks so amazing. I'm telling you, it's such a lovely feeling being a man leading a lady. Because usually we dance by ourselves, innit? And they dance by themselves. I have a good time, you have a good time. When you're dancing with someone and the lady's following your lead and you're leading, that feeling is only second to sex.
Jeez.
Telling you.
Quotes.
Yep.
Quotes. We'll end it there. You dropped enough gems on off today, man. Fonti, man, thank you so much for coming down.
It's a pleasure.
I really appreciate it, man. It's been a great chat. I feel like we could do this for hours.
Boy, for real, man.
I really like.
Definitely.
I've got many more questions that I need the answers to, but they'll come. They'll come.
It's all good, man. Next time I'll bring the boys down as well.
Hey, listen, don't make promises you can't keep.
Don't
make promises you can't keep.
Down, you get me?
Amazing.
I have to rope them, but yeah, we'll get them down.
Come on, man. Thank you so much, bro.
Nah, man,
I really appreciate it. Come on, my guy.
Bless up, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is K.Melody. I'm here with Mr. DJ Fonti himself, Heartless crew, UK legend. We have been Point Blank Music School. This is Studio One. Until next time.
Peace.
For more content like this, be sure to like and subscribe. And to find out information about our courses, check out pointblankmusicschool.com. See you next time.